ready, fellas? One, two, three, go!
Hey, what's up guys? Today I want to talk a bit about audio post-production in Adobe Audition. So you guys might have seen this teaser for 1820 we made at that studio, and we also have that behind the scene video you might have seen. We talk about all the apps we used for that teaser and we will use for making the whole thing, all Adobe apps and Cinema 4D, what kinda is part of After Effects now, at least the light version. Anyway, if you didn't see both of those, just check them out, I have a link below. And in this behind the scene, I talk a little bit about what I did in Adobe Audition and what we as team did and stuff like that. And I have a little bit more to that, an extended version so to speak. And I want to talk a little bit more about the stuff I did, so you kind of get an idea what goes into sound post-production for that and what you can do in Adobe Audition. So I guess let's open Adobe Audition and dive right in. Alright, this is the session I've got from Joseph. It's a basic layout, so to speak. He sent me an OMF. It was the easiest and quickest way via Dropbox to get all the stuff he had. And there's one thing though with OMF, you get like for stereo tracks, you get 2 mono tracks. But there's quite an easy workaround. You basically just select your tracks you want to have as a stereo pair and just right click, bounce to new track, select the tracks only, and there you go, it makes a new track for you. But keep in mind, pay attention to your left and right panning and volume and stuff like that before you make that mix down to a new track. So there you go, that's how I did all the rearranging and pre-mixing, so to speak, for this session to finally basically get to this one. Yeah, so I have quite a few tracks here, as you can see. I zoom in a bit for you. We have the footsteps coming down the stairs. And then we have fight sequence, stuff like that, the original sound from the set, so to speak. But also quite a few footsteps and stuff like that, as you can see here. Quite a few tracks, just pure footsteps. They are random in a way, but they are there to help fill up the scene. As you can hear, they are really quite random, but they fill up the whole scene quite nicely. And also all the banging and hitting and metal sounds that go in this fight scene to make it authentic. There you go. All that fits in and fills in the whole scene. And also make sure to send that to a room reverb to fit it in. A small tight room that fits the visual aspect of the scene. And without the reverb, that would not be as good as it sounded in the end. Yeah, and while we are in this scene, I put in a few atmospheric sounds, so to speak. There's a room tone made out of 2. It's more like the low end, and like something electrical is going on here. And also I have a more psychedelic thing going on that fits in the time travel and future and back, maybe sounds coming through from the future or from the past or from some sort of stuff. You know, all that makes it like, oh well, something is not right here. It's far low down, it's nothing too obvious, it's there but also not. you don't really hear it, but if it's missing, it was kind of empty, so I put it there as well. Okay, next thing I want to talk a bit about the wind situation. We have a transition to the whole scene. This is wind 1, next scene, wind 2, back to the first scene. Yeah, we have the trees here a bit more. And then we have like the main wind, that's the quite harsh. I did that on purpose. One thing to kind of cancel out all the footsteps. In the end, it was a bit of an issue to make them fit. And also, if you put in footsteps, you have to do all the other movement sounds as well. And that was too much. And we kind of run out of time anyway, so I decided to put in a harsh, strong, loud wind that kind of cancels out all the other sounds. And also that way it makes the whole scenery unpleasant. It's not like a nice Sunday winter afternoon you might go out for a walk or something. No, this is bad. This is not a good situation. There's a monster coming in a minute and stuff like that. So it has to feel not really nice. It has to feel unpleasant. And with this wind that was quite strong, we made that happen. The last part I want to talk about real quick is the monster itself. Joseph spent a good amount of time finding all these. You see, this is all monster sound. He did a good job of that. The only thing I did is made it a little bit more stronger and bigger. I created a submix. I pull over the mixer for a minute. You can see sub monster. You can create that just like that and send it all these tracks that are monster tracks to one fader, and there you have it. I have a equalizer, third-party plugin, and a compressor, quite strong to make it big and huge. That's also the trick I made here. And I also did a reverb thing with the monster. It's a bit louder than I normally would, just to show you that there is a reverb there. Yeah, and so I worked with all these elements and worked with equalizer and compressor, as well as in the fight scene, quite a lot of compression going on as here as well. I used Alloy 2 for that. Yeah, and stuff like that. And then the final mastering, it has to be cinematic, so people are used to quite strong compression and stuff like that. So I sent it to a master plugin and also a good limiter I have here to make it kind of fit all together and work cinematic and use all the frequencies and push things so it sounds cinematic. Yeah, so that's, in a short form, that's basically what I did. I worked with the music, you can see up here. I used clip automation, but also used my iPad application to really push in volume changes and stuff like that. And that way it works kind of nice. So that's the benefit of Audition. You have the clip-based volume changes and panorama changes, but also you have the track-based volume and sand and stuff like that, and you can use external hardware controllers. In this case I just have the iPad application because that works nicely and does the job. And what you can do, you can customize the view, track height, the whole workspace, you know, that's what I like. Usually I have it spread out on 4 screens. The preview for the video goes on one big screen. I have just a session on the other, plugins on the third, and on the fourth I have my mix and stuff like that. And that's great to work with that kind of stuff. This is just a 2-minute trailer, and it has like 70 or so tracks. Imagine you have a full feature, you go up to 200 tracks and more, and yeah, it works quite nicely. Play head syncs with video, stuff like that. It works out good. Yeah, so that's basically it. That's all I can say in that short amount of time, what I did with that session for that trailer in Adobe Audition. So worked out good.